Well, welcome back to ARC Maine. Yesterday, we sat down with some of the organizers of the Pine State Expo, and today we're hearing from some of the celebrities that you can meet at that event.
Yeah, it's taking place today through Sunday at the Holiday Inn by the Bay. Joining us this morning to talk about the Pine State Expo are two celebrity guests, John O'Hurley and Larry Brantley. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So happy to have you here.
We are fangirling this morning.
Oh, man.
So excited. All right, John, let's start with you. You were on Seinfeld, as many people remember. You played Elaine's boss, Petermen. Tell us what that was like, but also we want to talk about your other roles as well, especially when it comes to animation.
Well, Seinfeld was, you always felt like you were walking into St. Peter's Basilica every time you walked onto the set to do the, you knew that this was the greatest show in the history of television. We knew that while we were doing it, which was an added advantage. Because you got to savor and save all of the memories that were happening in front of you every day. And so, as I would say to the extras that were in my office, I say, keep the script, remember everything you're wearing, who you talk to. I said, because you will be watching this show with your grandchildren. And I can't make that promise for any other show you'll ever do again. But so far, history has borne me right.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
People are still watching the show voraciously.
Yeah, I grew up watching Seinfeld because my mom is such a huge fan, and I literally texted her, you got to tune in right now to watch the celeb guests. What a special thing to know while you're filming it, you know, that it's going to be amazing.
It is, yes, and it's in 85 countries still, and actually, Netflix just bought it, so they have a resurrection of an audience that's just started all over again. We have 14-year-olds to 20-year-olds now that are watching it now, binge watching it for the first time. So it's kind of fun to know that you have something that you've done that lives in perpetuity.
Amazing.
Yeah. And Larry, we can't forget about you over there. You've also had a great career in stand-up, comic, a radio, DJ as a teenager, and especially known for your work on the PBS series Wishbone. Talk a little bit about serving as the voice of Wishbone the dog.
Which I also grew up watching.
Right.
Thank you very much. So that show I got at the very beginning of my career. So that was 1993. I just moved to Dallas. And all of us were young filmmakers with very little experience. So we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And a lot of people asked me about the audition process. I actually had to audition in the room with the dog. And I didn't know it was going to be a live dog until I walked into the audition. And so I thought, is it going to be an animated dog? Is it going to be, and then I had this thought that almost caused me to turn the car around and leave the audition. Because the most popular show for kids at the time on TV was Barney and Friends. And I thought, if I get this gig, am I going to have to dress up in a dog suit and dance around on stage? Well, it turned out to be a real dog. His name was Soccer. And we started initially with 5 episodes. And by the time we were finished with the 5 episodes, PBS ordered 35 more. But they wanted them within a calendar year. And we were shooting on film with an original score every week and visual effects and half the world we had to turn around. It was a huge production, over 200 cast and crew. And it was the single most greatest professional experience of my life. I love doing it.
And the viewers just will never forget all the things they learned from Wishbone.
Well,
you know?
I have had many people, and I suspect this will happen this weekend at Pine State Expo, come up to me with their kids, and they will say to me, I loved this show when I was a kid, and I say thank you, and that is a reminder of just how old I actually am now. But it is really fun, and I never get tired of hearing people's stories about, you know, the show got them to love books and got them to a lifelong love of reading and that kind of thing. And yeah, it's been great.
And John, tell us more about your animation career.
Well, because of J. Petermen and his peculiar vocal style, I ended up doing every king, every whatever, every mayor. I have had a nice career on shows like SpongeBob. I'm King Neptune on SpongeBob, which I continue to record this day because they're now doing a sequel called Patrick.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm Mayor Doofenshmirtz on Phineas and Ferb, which has been ABC's top show for many, many years. And I have about 15 cartoons that I do, and back and forth and back and forth, and it's very fun. And a lot of the reason that I do it is I always wanted to have a body of work that my child, he's 18 now, but all along that he could watch, and so he would always watch the cartoons, and he would say, "That's Daddy." Yeah, and so it was always kind of fun to have that the type of work that was stuff that he could watch.
And this event is a great opportunity for fans to come up to you guys, meet you guys, get autographs, kind of talk about that aspect. What is that like to have people come up to you guys and thank you for your work and be so excited that they're meeting someone that they've watched on TV?
An idol.
It really is a joy to be able to meet the people that were on the other side of that little black hole. Because you remember, like Seinfeld or any of the other shows that I've done, and I've killed a lot of shows. You never get to meet. All it is like a little black hole. As we're looking now at camera, we're not seeing the people. We're not interacting with the actual people. So it gives us a chance to actually sit down and look eye to eye with the people whose lives we have affected and entertained for so long. So it's a singular joy. It really is.
Yeah, pretty special.
I stayed away from cons for a really long time because of my twin dislikes of crowds and people. I'm a natural introvert, and it's why working behind a microphone is so comfortable for me and has been for 30 years. A couple of good friends of mine who are also voice actors were like, you kind of owe it to people at this point in your career to get out there and say hello. And then COVID hit, and I thought, now I never have to go to a con ever. And then it stopped, and I've had such a good time doing this. And what John said is exactly right. We live in this bubble when we're making these shows, and we put them out there, and we hope that people like them. We hope we're doing something that is worthy of being appreciated. And it's when you come to events like this, Pine State Expo, and any other con you do all over the country, and you get to meet people face to face, and they say to you, and I will tell you that one of the most impactful things anyone ever said to me was, "You were the voice of my childhood." And I take that very seriously. And so whether it's that or whether it's an anime project that I've worked on or whatever it is, it's just really great. When people come up in full cosplay as your character, I mean, and you realize the time and effort they put into that, you're just like, oh, can I take a picture with you? It's super fun. I'm really glad I decided to start doing it, and now I probably won't ever stop.
Amazing.
Awesome. And you're from Maine. How does it feel?
I know, right?
Believe it or not,
You're an actual Mainer.
I was born in Kittery, Maine, which is at one time the symbol of man's struggle against the ocean, for 200 years. And today, Kittery, Maine is the largest shopping outlet center in America.
They're pretty good outlets.
That's still man's struggle, I think.
Right,
I
you like
know.
shopping.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to be back in the Pine Tree State?
It does. It's funny. I was driving up last night as I was coming over the bridge there from Kittery, or from Portsmouth into Kittery, and it was like, isn't that something? And I look over into the shipyard, and I remember where the hospital there where my dad was at. He was a surgeon in the Marines, actually.
Wow.
And it was it's wonderful to be back. And the few times that I'm able to make it back, I always I love being here. It just has such a sense of history to me. Not the least of which were all of my early memories of knowing that I was an actor, so that's what I was going to be. Maine is always, that's all I have to see the word Maine, and it just kind of clicks a very special part in my heart.
Amazing. And we've got good weather for you guys this weekend.
I know, that's
That's nice.
exciting. I actually knocked off 2 states on the way up here.
Oh, good.
So I'm at 49 now.
Okay.
Really?
So I drove through New Hampshire, and I drove through it, but I didn't stop it. That still counts. So that
Still
was
counts.
48. Maine is 49.
Wow.
Once I hit Vermont, I'll finally have visited all 50 states.
Well, and Vermont is beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
So I'm going to take my time and enjoy Maine this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm happy about
get
the
a
weather.
lobster, we'll
Yes.
get some steamers.
Yep.
We're
Steamer
gonna-
clams.
Gotta get
God
those.
chowder
I
and
have-
lobster rolls.
Once you are born in Maine, you have a minimum daily requirement of crustaceans every day, and I have to fulfill that.
That's part
That's
of
the
the
real
balanced
reason he
diet.
jumps on SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you both
Yes,
so
thank you for
much for
coming
your
on.
time this
Well,
morning.
thank
Thank
you.
you
It's
guys
gonna
for
be
having us on.
Great to be here. Come see us.
We will,
Awesome.
absolutely.